Doctor Who, Haunted by an Angel, written and read by Isaac Travers. It had been a while since the Doctor travelled through time and space. He had been stuck on a planet Carvos, fighting alongside his past incarnations against the Sirens of Time. You could say that it was the mysterious Doctor's fault for causing all this to happen, but to be fair, he was manipulated in some way to the Sirens of Time's bidding. As the Doctor walked back into the TARDIS console room he was familiar with, he started pressing all the switches as he was about to take off. The Doctor had just said goodbye to his past selves, mainly the clever one and the pajama boy. Now that's done and over with, where should we go next? The Doctor then turned his head around to see if there was anyone there, but in reality, there was no one there at all. He had been alone for quite some time now. Skylar and Craig had long since left the Doctor. It had been nothing but a quiet place, with no one to talk to. Oh, that's great. I'm talking to myself because I'm bored, aren't I? The Doctor thought to himself. Suddenly, the TARDIS was discovering a time anomaly that was happening in the year of 2023. The Doctor wasn't sure if it was for real, but then he realised that he had a job to do. The Doctor turned on the time scanner and started seeing multiple paradoxes occurring at a strange abandoned house near the small town of Winfield. Determined to figure out what was going on and to put an end to all the anomalies, the Doctor pulled down the main lever and the TARDIS started to take off, travelling through the time vortex to the location of the house. Meanwhile on Earth, where the house stood, 4 students were unpacking their bags from the back of a car. The students were Jerry Cornwell, Jen Roberts, Chris Price, and his cousin Lily Newman. Couldn't we choose a house that was a lot more fancier and not in ruins? Jen said in disdain as she was not impressed with the place. Jerry then replied, I know it may look like crap, but it was the cheapest house we could find on the market. I think it looks nice. Maybe with a bit of a paint job and some cleaning up, it would look beautiful, Lily said as she was fascinated by the uniqueness of the house, and it reminded her of something from a Tim Burton movie. Just as the students were about to enter the house, a mysterious figure startled them from behind, giving them a strict and important message. The man spoke with a whisper in his voice, as if he had seen it all before. Before you even enter that house, I warn you. There is a great danger that lurks and takes young souls like you out of this world. But what do you mean by that? Lily said. She was intrigued by what the man was telling her and her colleagues. You see, young lady, once you go inside that house, a stone creature will come after you, and when it does, you never return alive. The old man then left the students alone as he walked away from the house, making his way back to his place. Don't try to listen to those nutters, said Chris. Everything will be perfectly fine, trust me. I'm certain nothing bad is going to happen to us, I promise. Lily then gave a smile to her cousin as both her and her friends went inside the house. Once Jerry opened the door, the 4 students went inside the house, which had now been in shambles. The walls were exposed with cracks. Parts of the furniture were in tatters. The staircase crumbled to pieces and bats were hanging from the ceiling. Jen was horrified by the scenery of the place. My God, this place is even worse on the inside. I won't even last a week in here, Jen said in disgust. Oh, try to not let that bother you, Jen, Jerry said to Jen to comfort her. We'll only be here till the semester is over. Luckily, we'll have a chance to fix this place up. Everyone started taking their bags and placing them into their bedrooms. Lily, on the other hand, was exploring the garden, which had many trees and flowers all in a row. She then spotted a statue of an angel covering its face with its hands like it was weeping in sorrow. Lily turned to tell her friends what her discovery was, when all of a sudden, the angel was in a different position. This time its hands was no longer covering its face. Lily was fascinated by the statue and how it moved when it was not being seen. A lot like how she played red light green light on the school playground. Not sure if the angel would move again. Lily started to walk backwards slowly towards the door. She then told Chris all about the angel and how it moved each time she wasn't looking at it. Chris just told her it was just a house ornament that the former owners forgot to move out. However, in reality, it had been waiting for its next victim. Later in the evening, it became stormy and dark as the rain fell upon the house. It got so bad that when there were leaks on the roof, the students each had to grab any buckets and bowls to stop the leaks from happening. Once everyone cleaned up the house, the students all went to bed, hoping that it would be better in the morning. However, it wasn't until 10:30 p.m. when Chris and Lily woke up to the sound that was beautiful yet irritating. The TARDIS had finally arrived on Earth. The doors of the blue box opened up, and out walked the Doctor, who got drenched in the pouring rain. And so the Doctor made it quickly to the house and knocked on the door multiple times, waiting for a reply from anyone. Chris heard the door knocking multiple times and decided to go out and see who it was. Who could be coming here at this time at night? Chris questioned himself for a moment. Once he opened the door, he saw the presence of a man wearing a black suit, a navy blue shirt with a unique tie, and most importantly was wearing a fedora, which the man wore with pride and dignity. Chris started to talk to him. Hello, sir. Can I help you with anything? You know it is extremely late at night. The Doctor immediately told the young man that he was there for a reason. Indeed there is, young man. I'm looking for something that has somehow snuck inside your house without any of you noticing. Chris still did not believe who the Doctor was, or even knew who his name was, so the Doctor had to come up with a little lie to get some answers out of him. If you're so desperate, my name is Dr. Quentin, and I'm looking for this thing. The Doctor then pulled out a projector from his pocket and showed Chris an image of a weeping angel, the same one that was inside the house. Well, I haven't seen it for myself, but I think the best person you can talk to about this is Lily, replied Chris. The Doctor seemed to be quite interested. I believe that this Lily is a relative of yours? Actually, Doctor, she's my cousin. Lily heard the two men talking downstairs, and so she came down to see what was going on. Chris then introduced the Doctor to Lily. Lily then told the Doctor everything about the angel in the garden, and how it was freaking her out. The Doctor immediately alerted Lily about what the creature was. Miss Newman, I have to inform you that your friends are not safe here in this house. That statue outside the garden is a weeping angel. They're creatures made out of quantum lock stone, and that will not stop until you are displaced in time. Or sometimes worse, even snap your neck. So remember the important rules. Never turn your back, don't look away, and don't blink. All of a sudden, the back door started to open as the angel was in front of it. It seemed that it moved whilst the Doctor was talking. Doctor, I think we have an invited guest, said Lily, as she was frightened for her life. Chris knew that Jerry and Jen were still upstairs sleeping in their beds, and knew that he had to get them out. Doctor, there are two people still upstairs. Someone's got to get them out before the angel does. The Doctor then told Lily to come upstairs with him and try wake up Jen and Jerry, as Chris stayed downstairs to keep an eye on the angel. Chris was in complete peril, as he was not even sure how long he would keep his eye on the angel without looking away. He tried to walk slowly backwards, but tripped on the carpet, and in an instant, the angel caught up to him, this time with its fangs out. Chris immediately made a run for it, and went up the stairs to the bedroom, the same place where Lily and the Doctor were hiding in. Chris immediately closed the door behind him. Finally, after a close encounter with death, he made it out alive with his friends. However, the Doctor was not pleased. What the hell were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed by that angel! Chris then snapped back at the Doctor, blaming everything on him. Well, it's not my fault that there's a homicidal statue roaming around the house! What even is this? A trick or something? The two men started arguing with each other to see whose shell was going to crack first. Lily then walked towards the two men and told them to stop. For goodness sake, you two! None of this is going to be resolved if you start fighting with each other. The two men immediately put aside their bickering, and then Lily turned towards the Doctor. Now, Doctor, I've only just known you for a few minutes, but I want to ask you this. Will you get us out of this? Lily said with a horrified look on her face as she was hoping to get out from this horrifying moment in her life. Suddenly, Jen, who was still asleep, got an instant shock of horror when she woke up. She screamed out one word only. Jerry! Where'd he go? Everyone wasn't sure where Jerry went. Then the doctor realized, oh no, he's gone downstairs to get something, and the angel is downstairs with him. Deep down in the basement, Jerry was getting a few things from the fridge, mostly a packet of Skittles and salt and vinegar chips, as well as a nice cool can of Diet Coke. Just as he was about to walk back up the stairs, the lights went out. Not having his phone with him, Jerry had to get an old flashlight to see where he was. He then searched around the room and saw the angel statue. Then the lights turned back on, and then blacked out again, but the third time, they stayed on. The angel was now in front of Jerry, and he immediately freaked out and ran up the stairs to reach the door. Jerry tried everything he could to get the door open from the outside. The lights continued to switch on and off as the angel was getting closer. But it was too late. The weeping angel had snapped Jerry's neck, leaving him dead on the floor of the basement. Up from above in the bedroom, everyone heard a neck being snapped and a man screaming. Jen immediately remembered who the voice was. That's Jerry's scream! So the doctor, Jen, Lily, and Chris belted back down the stairs through to where the murder had happened. Lily then turned on the lights to see Jerry's body on the ground, dead with his neck snapped. Jen screamed at the sight of her friend's corpse as Chris started to examine his body to check if he was still breathing. He's completely dead, Doctor, said Chris. This angel sure did take out Jerry by surprise. The doctor then told Chris, that's what happens when you come face to face with a lonely assassin. Whilst Lily tried to calm down Jen from what had happened, the doctor noticed a picture frame on the wall, in which it was taken in 1917, in which there was an empty sofa but had a transparent figure sitting on the left-hand side of the chair. Chris immediately noticed that Jerry's body had vanished and was shocked as Jerry ended up in the picture, now placed where the transparent figure was sitting. The doctor started to figure out where all the pieces to this puzzle. This all makes sense. The angel has been in this house as a trap trying to cause a massive paradox. Anyone who's even entered into this house becomes its next victim. Guys, I think you need to see this, Lily said. The survivors soon discovered more portraits of people, in which one photo had a man holding out a sign saying, "You will be haunted by the angels. Stay out while you can." It had turned out that the house had been abandoned since 1917, when the angel first arrived. It had spent all its years killing any visitors who entered the house, or even displacing people in time till they lived to death. Jen could no longer take it anymore with the chaos. Can't you see it? This place is a living nightmare! That angel could come after us! Lily, are you coming with me? Lily decided to stay back with the doctor and Chris, as she felt safer with them. Jen, we need to stay together if we're going to get out of this. All of a sudden, the lights went out, and then Jen gave out a scream as she vanished. Once the lights turned back on, Jen was gone and was now in the portrait alongside Jerry. Back upstairs, now! Yelled the doctor as he, Lily, and Chris belted up the stairs to the living room. Chris grabbed the picture frame that Jen and Jerry were now a part of. Now it was only Lily and Chris still alive in the house. The doctor was very determined to make sure that these two students were to survive from the chaos of the weeping angel. Now, this may be a really bad time to say this, but there has to be something that we can do to stop the weeping angel, said Lily. Maybe the angel wants me to be taken. If I go back in time, I could see Jen and Jerry again. Lily was in shock of what Chris was thinking about. Chris, are you out of your goddamn mind? Please don't do this. We can figure something else out. The doctor was trying to think of another idea and didn't know how to describe Chris's intention. He knew if Chris joined with the others, then the paradox would be fixed and he would never come back to the present day. Chris, I'm not sure if what you will be doing is a good idea, but it's the only choice if you're willing to do it. Lily was in shock that the doctor would allow someone to kill themselves to save the Earth. But what other choice could it have been to stop a time paradox? Chris knew what he had to do and told Lily to remain calm. Doctor, I want you to look after Lily for me and make her feel safe. Lily was horrified that Chris was willing to give up his own life for the angel. She tried to run after Chris, but the doctor grabbed her by the arm to stop her. I'm sorry, Lily. There's nothing I can do. He's made his choice. Chris made his way to the hallway and the angel was in front of him. Once Chris closed his eyes, the angel got closer to him and touched him. Chris had vanished on the spot and soon appeared on the portrait along with Jerry and Jen. The angel seemed to have won, but needed one last victim, which was none other than Lily. The doctor soon grabbed a mirror and showed it in front of the weeping angel's face. Turns out one weakness to defeat a weeping angel is that if it looked itself into a mirror. Now completely frozen in a single moment in time, the angel was defeated. Once the sun had risen from the sky, the frozen angel shriveled into dust, leaving nothing but grey ashes on the floor. Lily went up to the angel's ashes and kneeled on the floor. She then started to cry as she was all alone by herself, with all her friends now in a completely different time, who by now would have all died of natural causes. The only thing that was beside Lily was some dust from the monster that took away everything from her. The doctor looked at Lily in pity for her. He felt horrible for what had happened to Lily, as she had witnessed a family relative die in front of her. The doctor felt that his actions were selfish and cruel, and not in the way he would do things. He was almost turning into the thing he was dreading to become. The doctor went up to Lily and hugged her. I'm sorry for this to happen, Miss Newman, said the doctor in sorrow. Chris was a good person. He cared for you very dearly. Still upset, Lily told the doctor if he could at least save her friends. Why can't you save them? Why can't you just go back in time and find them as well as Jen and Jerry? The doctor then stood up and declined Lily's decision, as he knew the laws of time. I'm sorry, but I don't think it's possible. If I was to go back in time and save them, it would cause a massive paradox and everything that you would ever know would be destroyed. Still realizing that if Lily traveled with him, it would only cause more chaos in her life. He then left the house. Doctor, where are you going? Said Lily. She was deeply confused about why the doctor was leaving her behind. I'm sorry, Miss Newman, said the doctor. I can't put you at risk, not after what you have been through. Promise me that you'll do great things because I know you will. After the doctor gave a tip of his hat, he then left the house. The doctor then entered back into the TARDIS. Lily ran outside to see the doctor close to his blue box. As he shut the door behind him, Lily watched in astonishment as the doctor's TARDIS dematerialized from outside the house. The doctor stood alone in the TARDIS, ashamed and defeated inside. He soon realized that sometimes you can't force your way into another person's life. Sometimes it could lead into a moment that could haunt them forever. Yet, from far away in an unknown realm, an anonymous figure was watching the doctor through a magic sphere.
My word, Doctor, you clearly are a foolish man when it comes to playing around. Now the chess pieces have been precisely placed for a special game, because everything that I know has fallen into place.